What's going on, everyone? You are welcome to Web Chronic Online YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we will design this simple yet beautiful web page. This is the landing page of Instagram, and as recommended by my very good friend Pius, that is exactly what we will design today. This will be our last tutorial in HTML and CSS. The subsequent tutorial will be a practice of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in creating full functional applications. If this sounds good to you, make sure you are subscribed to this channel before you continue, and also leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. I will leave the link to the fundamentals of JavaScript in the description of this video, as well as the link to join in my WhatsApp page. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let the tutorial begin. Okay guys, so I have a folder here called Instagram. When I click to open this Instagram folder, there is a subfolder here called images. So what I'll do is that I will right click on this folder and select open with code, so that it will be opened in the Visual Studio Code. Great. So I'll move my cursor here, and then as you can see, the images folder is here with these 3 images. I'll go ahead and create my HTML and CSS. So I'll click on this icon and call this one index.html. Then I'll also create my index.css like this. So inside the index.html, I'll bring in my template by typing the exclamation mark and then hitting enter. Now I will change this one to Instagram redesign, and I'll go ahead and link my CSS under the title element. So I'll just move here and then select my index.css. Now I'll create an h1 element which says hello world, and then I'll click on the go live to show what we have done. Okay, so the index.html file has been opened right here, and our hello world has been printed over here. Now let's take a look at the project and then see what is going to happen. What we will do is that we will create a main container, then we will create a sub container, and inside the sub container we will have our left and then right, and afterwards we will create our footer outside of the sub container. Okay, but then as you can see, this is an image, but we don't have access to this image, so we will use text, and because of that we will have to find a unique font on Google Fonts. So the font that we can use for this is called Dancing Script. So you go to Google Fonts and then you type Dancing Script. This is it right here. You click on it like this, and then I will select the bold 700 like this, and afterwards I'll click on the @import, copy this code right here, and then paste it in my index.css file here like this. Then also, as you can see from here, we have one icon here, and because of that we will be using font awesome. But then before we can use the font awesome icons, we have to get a CDN. So we visit cdnjs.com and then type font awesome. So this is the font awesome we are looking for. We can go ahead and click on this icon to copy the link tag, and once it has been copied, we can paste it under the title element in our head tag like this. Great. So now we can collapse this menu, and then we can start working. So as usual, let me show you the project one more time. Now we can bid this one goodbye. We don't need this anymore. And then okay, so now we will have our main container, then we will have our sub container. Inside our sub container we will have a left and then the right. After we have finished working with the left and right in the sub container, we will move out of the sub container and create this footer. So let's begin. So I'll create my main container, and inside the main container I'll create my sub container. Inside the sub container I'll create my left. I'll duplicate this one and change the class name to right. So now let's begin by working with the left. So inside the left there is an image, as you can see right here, and I have the image inside the images folder. Let me show it to you real quick. This is the image that we will use for this exercise. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'll bring in an img dot, I'll call this one left img, and the src will be ./images img.png, like this. Now let's see what we have so far. Okay, so the image is right here. Let me go ahead and then do something with the right. So inside the right container we have a top container and a bottom container. So let's do that. So inside the right container I will have what we call the form container. Inside the form container there is an h1 element with the class name logo test, and the test inside this is Instagram. Now we will go ahead and create our input. So I'll type input and give it a class name of form input. I'll give a placeholder which says phone number, username or email, like this. Now we will duplicate this one and we will have our password. So shift alt down arrow, and I'll give this one a placeholder of password. Then maybe I'll also change this one from test to password. Great. Now we will create a button which has the test login. So let's do just that. I will create my button. I'll give it a class name of form btn, and I'll give the test log in. Now let's see what is next. We will have this login with Facebook, and then we also have the forgot password. So let's do just that. I'll create a new container called form links, and then afterwards we will bring this one. But don't forget we have this thing right here, so let's do just that. I will have an HR. Let's give it a container dot HR, and inside this we will have our HR, and we also have an h3 element with the class name or, and then the text in it will be or, as you can see right here, and then we will have our login with Facebook and then forgot password. But don't forget that this one has an icon, and this is where the font awesome comes in. So I'll type here Facebook. Great. So this is the icon that I'm looking for. I'll click on it like this, and then I will also copy it from this side. I will create a new container called form links, like this, and I'll create an anchor tag with the class name form link. Okay, and I'll just bring hashtag here. I'll first of all paste in the icon, and I'll say log in with Facebook. Then I'll create a second one which says forgot password, but don't forget we have a class name of form link. Type the form link here and then bring in here the hashtag, and afterwards I'll type here forgot password with a question mark, and let's see. Okay, now I can bid this one to a goodbye because we are done with it. Now let's see what we have so far. Okay, cool. Now we will create a different container, which is the sign up container. Afterwards we will create the app container. So let's do that. So outside of the form container, I will create a sign up container. So let's do a sign up container, and inside the sign up container I will create an h3.sign-up message, and I'll say, let me just copy it and paste. So copy the don't have an account and paste it right here, and then I'll create the link which has a class name of sign up link, and it will have the text sign up in it like this. Great. Now we will move on to the down one here which is get the app. So let's call it get the app. Outside of the sign up container, I'll just give a class name of this container to be app container. Inside the app container I'll have an h3 element with the text with the class name app title, and I'll get the app. There is a full stop, and then I will upload these two images right here. I have them in the images folder, so let's take a look at them. So we have the Google Play Store here, and we also have the Microsoft right here. Okay, so let's do just that. So I will create a sub container called app images container, and inside this I'll have my img.app-image, and I'll give the src into the images. The first one is the Microsoft. Let me find out. Okay, so the Google comes first, it doesn't matter. So let me just duplicate this one and then bring in the Google Play Store image like this. Great. So now let's go and then add some styling before we get back to the footer. Let's see what we have done here so far. It doesn't look anything close to what we want to achieve, but then we will work on it. Let's do this. So let's begin by styling the main container. After that, we move on to the sub container, the left, and then start working on the right. So as we always do, I'll split the code into two by clicking on this icon. Then I can show both my HTML and my CSS at the same time. Then also, as usual, I will have default stuff for all the elements, and you know how to do it. So I'll type my asterisk followed by opening and closing curly bracket. I want to set padding to 0. I want to set margin to 0. I want to set box sizing to border box. Then I also want to remove every form of text decoration. So text decoration will be set to none, and then at the moment so now let's begin by styling the main container. So I'll copy the main container from here, I'll paste it right here, I'll give it a width of 100 view width W, then I'll give a height of 100 VH like this. Now I'll set display to flex, align items should be in the center, and then justify content will also be in the center. Whenever there is the need for us to come back here, we will do so. So now let me bring in the sub container right here. The sub container will have a width of 840 pixels, so 840 pixels. Now let's see what we have. Okay, cool. Now I'll set that one to display flex, so display will be flex, but this time around the align items will not be at the center but at the start. Okay, cool. Now what we are going to do next is that we have to give a gap between the left and then the right. So let's look at the original one, and we will give a gap of about 20 pixels or 30. If there is the need for us to adjust it, we will do so. So I set a gap of 30 pixels like this. Now let's work on the left. So I'll work left here, and then I'll give it a width of 400 pixels like this. Perhaps I should also set the width for the right. So right 2 should be 400 pixels like this. Then I'll give it a width of 100%. So let's see. Okay, cool. Now let me comment out these ones. They are making things uncomfortable for me. I will get back to them in a moment. So I'll just copy all this and then press Ctrl// to comment them out. Okay, cool. Now let's work on the right container, the top right container, or the form container. So the first thing that I'm going to style is, of course, give it a border. As you can see from the original one, it has a border of 1 pixel solid light gray. Then we will change the font family of this text. Then we will also style the input, the button, and the rest. So let's do that. So I'll copy the right form input, should be input. Let's do the correction here. So I'll pick the form container from here. I'll give it a weight of 100%. I'll give it a border of 1 pixel solid light gray. Now let's see. What's going on here? Okay, it should be pixel, not px. Okay, cool. Now the border has been created. Let's give it some padding. So let's look at the original. We'll give it a padding of about 40 pixels. So let's do that. So padding of 40 pixels. I'll set the display to flex. Align items will be center, and then I'll change the flex direction to column like this. Now let's see what is going on at the moment. Okay, cool. So now let's start this one here, the H1 here. So I'll copy the logo text from here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is to change the font family. So I'll change the font family to the dancing script. And if it doesn't work, we should fall back on cursive like this. So let's look at it. Yeah, it's cool now. Now let's make it a bit larger than it is. So let's set the font size to about 2.2 rem. So font size to about 2.2 rem, and let's give it a margin bottom of about 40 pixels. So let's see. Okay, yeah, it's cool. It looks to me like the font size is not big enough. Let's make it 3. Okay, cool. Now let's work on the inputs. So I'll come here, copy this form input class name. I'll paste it right here. I'll give a weight of 100%. I'll change the border to 1 pixel solid gray, but this I'll use the color code 333. Then I will also change the outline. I'll first of all set it to none. We will work on it later. So let's see. Then I'll give it a height and also leave some margin bottom. So let's do that. So let's set a height of about 35 pixels, then margin bottom to about 10 pixels. Okay, cool. Now let's also leave some padding. As you can see here, there is some padding in it, so let's do just that. So I'll set padding to about 10 pixels on the side, 5 pixel padding at the top and bottom. Now let's see. Okay, this look better. Okay, it appears to me that this color code is too strong for it, so let's make it light gray as we did for the container. So I'll copy the light gray like this. It should look better now. Cool. Alright, so now let's work on the button right here. So I'll copy the form btn and then paste it right here. The first thing I'm going to do is to remove the border, so I'll set the border to none. Then I'll change the background, color. It should be something like this, and then I'll, with the help of my cursor, okay, something like this should be okay. And then I should change the color to white. Now let's see, but before then let me also give it a height of 35 pixels. Then I'll give it a weight of 100% so that it will match the input like we have done. Okay, so the background color didn't appear, I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, it should be background color, not border color. So background. Okay, background color. Well, the color is not perfect. We can make it a bit, then this one too, the font family is quite deeper than ours. We will do all that. So let's begin with the font width. I'll set the font weight to about 600, and then the color here I can make it a bit light, something like this should be okay. Now let's see. Okay, then we also give some border radius of about 10 pixels should do the trick for us. So let's set the border radius to 10 pixels like this. Okay, cool. Now let's work on the or and then the forgot password. Okay, so here I think I spelled the Facebook wrongly. Let me do the correct thing. Then also let me begin this one with a capital letter. It's very important. So let's look at the HR and then the or. So I'll copy this one, I'll paste it right here. Then I'll set the weight to 100%, not pixels, percent. Okay, then let me just give it a background color of black so that we can see what is happening right here. Okay, cool. So we'll give it a margin top, and then we'll go ahead and do the rest. So let's do that. So let's give a margin top of about 20 pixels. Let's see if 20 pixels is okay. Yeah, 20 pixels is fine. So yeah, 20 pixels like this. Now let me remove the background, we don't need it. Now let's see. Okay, so I'll set position to relative. Then let's work on the or. Where's the or? Or where are you? Or where are you? Okay, cool. I'll copy this or right here. I'll paste it here, and I'll set position to absolute. And let's see. The or is in Okay, so I'll set the top to 0, the left to 50%. Now let's see. I'll bring my HR here. I'll give it a width of 100%. I'll give it a height of about 2 pixels. I'll give it a background color of light gray. Now let's see. Now let's also give it a position of absolute. So it shouldn't be margin top and low, it should be top and down, and then the size should be 0 like this. So that, let me copy the whole of this here and then paste it here. Now let's see. Now I don't want the left to have this, so let's do this. Let's give this one a background color, so BG white. So white should be fine. Okay, let's make it -20 pixels to check if it will work out. Okay, it can work, but the -20 is too much. Let's try 10. Exactly. Now let's give it some padding. So I'll give a box sizing here to content box. Then we'll give a padding of about 10 pixels. Okay, in that case we will send this one a bit up, and I think the 20 pixels is too small. Let's make it 30. Okay, cool. And then we will bring this one up a bit, so let's make it 20. Cool, it's perfect, right? Okay, but as you can see, this side is quite longer than this side, so we have to do something to make sure it is at the middle. And to do that, there is this CSS style called transform. Then we select the translate X, which is on the horizontal axis, and then we set it to -50%, and it will put it at the center for us like this. So let's take a look at something. Okay, this is capital, all caps, so let's do that, and also change the color and the font weight. So let's do that. The O will have a font color, so I'll type color of light gray, and then I'll give it a font width of 300. Let's make it gray, and then we should also transform the text to uppercase. Okay, I think this is better. Then we have to change the font family to sans serif, so let's do that as well. So font family to sans serif. Okay, this is cool. I think the font size is too big, so we'll have to change it to about 0.8 rem. So let's do that. Font size 0.8 rem should be fine for us. Okay, good. Now let's work on this one. So let's look at the original one. So with the original one, we have this one at the top, this one at the bottom, and the gap between us is about 20 or 30 pixels. So let's do just that. So I'll copy the form links, and then I'll paste the form links here. I'll set display to flex. I'll set flex direction to column. Then I will set align items to center, and then I'll give a gap of about 20 pixels. Now instead of the align items, okay, well, let it be there. Let's also set the justify content to center like this. Now let's take a look at what we have achieved so far. So we have this right here. Let's look at the colors. This one is black. Yeah, they are all black, not just that one. So, and also the font is sans serif. So let's do just that. So I'll give let me copy the form link, this one, get a form link right here. Inside the form link I'll have font family of sans serif, then the color should be black, so color should be black. Then let's see if the text underlined. It has not been underlined. This one is a bit bolder than this, so let's take a look at it. So we have, you know, font width to be 300. Let's see, and then the color is also gray. It's not that much of a gray. The first one is around, it's like deep blue, so let's do that. So the color is blue, but the blue is quite deep, so let's bring this one somewhere here and select something like this. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This one is quite deep, this is quite faint, and this is also quite smaller in comparison to this. So what we can do to achieve this goal here is simple. We can give this one an extra class name and then call it here and then add the additional styles, or we can just use this same form link class that we have over here and paste it here, bring in a column, and then we type something like env child. So as you can see, we have the env child here, and the child number, which is in this case, this one is child 1 and this is child 2, and I want the child 2, so I'll type 2 here, and every star that will be typed here will be applied to the second form link. So let's do that. I'll change the font size to about 0.7 rem. Then also I'll give it a font width of about 200. Now let's see. As you can see, it's right there. Great. Now let's look at the original one. It looks like we are done with this one, but then let's take a look at a couple of things. It appears to me that the padding that we set for this one is too wide, so let's do something about it. So let's move to the form container and change this one to about 20. Then maybe the logo text can have not just a margin bottom. Okay, it should have a margin bottom and a margin top of an extra 20 pixels. Yeah, this is better. Then the left and right. So instead of setting it like this, let's give the top and down 20, and then the size should be 40 pixels like this. Okay, I think this is better. Now let's work on the don't have an account. So don't have the account. Okay, we should have given a text here which says sign up like this. So now let's see. Great. Now let's work on this one. So I'll copy the sign up container. The spelling should be correct. I'll copy this one here. I'll come to the very bottom of it and I'll paste it here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to also give it a border. So a border of 1 pixels solid light gray as we did for the top one. Now let's see. Cool. Now let's give it a margin top of about 10 pixels. So margin top of 10, box size and content box, so that we can have some padding not calculated to the height of the container. So 20 should be okay. 20 pixels should be fine. Now let's see. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to set the display to flex and align items at the center. So let's do that. So display flex AIC center. Now let's take a look at this. We should give a gap of about 10 pixels. So let's do that. Let's give a gap of 10. Oops, 20 is too much. 10 pixels should be all right. Now let's work on the sign up message. I'll copy the sign up message here, and then the first thing I'm going to do is to change the font weight to about 300. I'll also change the font size to about 1.2 rem. Then also I'll change the font family to sans serif, like this. Okay, cool. Now the font size is still too much for me. It should be very small, so somewhere about 0.8 should be fine. 0.8. Okay, 0.8 is too small, so let's make it 1. Cool. Now we should make it appear at the center, and then the gap is too much, so we should set justify content to the center and then reduce the gap here to about 5. So back to the sign up container, I'll change the gap to 5, and I'll give justify content center so that it will be in the middle like this. And the color, this one is still too big. Let's make this one 200, and then this one 0.9, or if possible 14 pixels. Now let's see. Okay, I think I should also change the color to gray. This looks quite better now. Great. Now let's work on this part, which is get the app. So let me just uncomment this one out. So I'll select this one, Control / should do the trick for us. Now let's see. Okay, so this one will not have any border, as you can see from the original one. It doesn't have any border, but we set the display to flex direction should be column. Then we will also do the rest. Now let's see. Copy the app container from here, and I'll paste it here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to give it a weight of 100%. Then I'll set the display to flex. I'll set the flex direction to column. Then I'll give a gap of about 20 pixels like this. Then I'll set justify content to the center, and then align items to the center. Now let's see. Okay, so now let's work on the images. So I'll copy the image container, so app.images container, and then I'll also set the display to flex. Align items will be at the center, and then perhaps I should also give a gap of about 10 pixels between them. Now let's see. Okay, cool. Nothing changes. Okay, something changed except that the images are too wide. So what I'm going to do is to copy the app image and give each of them a weight. So app image get a width of 48%. Now let's see. Now they are in perspective, but it looks to me that this one is quite but they should be the same, and it appears to me that this one is even taller than this one, but all the same. Now let's give them a height of 45 pixels, and let's see. Okay, cool. But then we should give a margin here. As you can see from here, there is some kind of margin right there. Okay, so let's do that. So inside the app container, let's give a margin top of about 20 pixels. Then let's work on the app title. So under the app container, I will have my app title here. I'll give it a font weight of 300. I'll give it a font size of 1 rem. I'll give it a font family of sans serif. Now let's see. Okay, cool. Now let's look at the original one. Okay, well, this one is too deep. Let's make it 200, and the font size 0.9 rem should be fine for us. Okay, cool. Now what is left is the footer, so let's work on the footer. So we have the footer top and the footer down. Now this footer also has what we call select. Okay, so it is one type of input in HTML. So let's do this. It will be done in the main container. Okay, so sub container is right here. I'll just click it like this, and then I'll come here, create my footer. Inside the footer, I'll have my footer top container. It will be a container, and then I'll just duplicate this one and have my footer bottom like this. So inside the footer top, I will have these links right here. Okay, so let me just copy everything here and then paste it here, and I'll be using it bit by bit. So I'll have an anchor tag. I'll call this one footer link, and this one will be meta. This is about. This is blog. This is jobs. This is help. This is API. This is privacy. This is terms. We have location. We have Instagram Lite. We also have thread. We also have contact. We have uploading and non-users. Then finally we have meta verified. Then also we will have the bottom here. Inside here we will have the option or select input and then this thing right here. So let me copy this one from this place, and inside the, let me save this one. Great. Now here I'll have my select, and inside the select I have option, and I'll give this one English. Okay, but then I'll also, beside the select, I'll have a span with the copy write asset class name, and I'll paste this thing right here. So this one I'll duplicate it a couple of more times, the options, and let's make this one French, and let's make this one Chinese. Okay, all right, so let's see. Okay, so because we said the display to flex inside the container, the footer should come outside. Okay, no worries. I'll just copy the footer and bring it outside. Should work just fine for us. Great. So now let's style it. So I'll begin by styling the footer. I'll set the footer to display flex. I'll set flex direction to column. I'll set align items to the center, and then justify content will be set to start. Now let's see. Yes, everything is at the center at the moment. So what I'm going to do is to style the links. Okay, so footer links, but then let's look at the footer from the original one. Okay, cool. So let's do that. I'll give some padding here, so I'll give a padding of about 30 pixels, should be fine. Great. Now inside the footer, let's style this one, the top. I'll set the weight to 100%. I'll set the display to flex AIC, and then I'll give a gap of 5 pixels. Oops, it should be gap, not height. So gap of 5 pixels between the elements. So now let's see. Okay, now I can't make the weight 100. I should make it like the container, the sub container. So 840 should be fine for us, so that it can be at the center. Great. Now let's change the font size of each of them. It appears to me that they are too big, and also change the font family. So I'll copy this one here. I'll give it a font family of sans serif as usual. Then I'll give a font size of about 12 pixels. Let's see. Great. Then we can increase the space between them from 5 to 10. So the gap inside the top footer top, I'll change it to 10, and I'll also change the color to gray like this. Great. Now let's look at the original one. Yeah. Then the footer top should have a margin bottom, so that there should be space between the top and then the bottom, and it looks like 20 is okay. So let's do just that. So inside the footer top, I'll set the margin bottom to about 20. If 20 is too much, we will change it. Okay, 20 is okay. Now let's come to the bottom. Now with the bottom, I will also set the display to flex AIC center and then JCC. So now let's look at it. Okay, cool. But when you look at the original one, this doesn't have any border, so we'll change the border. We'll give you a gap of about 10 pixels and we will be through with it. So let's do that. So gap of 10 pixels. Now let's copy the select. Okay, we have only one select, so we can just go ahead and do this, and then we set the border to none. Now let's see. Yeah, so when we click like this, then it will show. Okay, you can change this thing. Okay, this Chinese shouldn't be here. Where is this option? Okay, should get inside here. Okay, cool. So I click like this. We have French, Chinese. You can go ahead and add as many as you want. So as you can see, you click, they are here. Okay, cool. But I don't want to also have the outline once it has been clicked. Once it is clicked, okay, so I'll set the outline to none. So outline to none, like this. Cool. Now let's change this one. We'll change the color, the font size, and the font family. So as you can see, let's do this. So inside here, I'll change the color to gray. Then also I'll do the same for the copyright. So I'll copy the copyright here. Copy the copyright. Okay, so I'll set color to gray like this. I'll change the font family to sans serif. Then I'll change the font size to about 12 pixels. Now this thing that is here, I don't want it to be here, so let's do something about it. So what I can do is that I'll start the body. So immediately under this one, I'll call the body here. I'll set the max width and set it to 100 VW. And then I'll set overflow Y, which is on the vertical axis, to hidden. I don't want to be scrolling left and right. Great, now it's gone. Oh, it should be overflow Y. Why is it not working? Oops, sorry, S. It should be S, not Y. Overflow X. Great. Now we can scroll up and down, but we cannot go left and right. Cool. Now let's try and then also make it responsive. It's just very simple. Doing the responsive, this thing doesn't show, so let me just press F12 and let me click on this one here, and as you can see, this one doesn't show. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Let's look at it on a tablet first, because that is where mostly we should start from. Okay, so on a tablet this thing doesn't show, so I'll copy this one. I'll add just one here and then copy this one. Now let me open here, and then at the very bottom I'll type at media, and then I'll set maximum width. So max width to the data that we copied. Don't forget to add pixels to it. And what I'm going to do is that I don't want the left container to show, so I'll just type here dot left, and I'll set the display to none. So I type DN and display will be set to none. So let's do that. I'll press F12 and let me set it to the tablet. Okay, cool. Then also I'll set the dot sub container, and I'll set AIC center and then JCC as well. So now let's see. Now everything is at the center. Now let's look at this one. Tablet right here. Okay, this is too much. I don't have to, increase the width here. Let's look at our own. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, then let's work on the footer. Let's work on the footer right here. So at that moment, I don't need this one anymore. I'll just bring the footer top. Okay, the footer top right here. Now let's look at the original one once again. It will help us a lot. Okay, so we set the width to about 80%. So I'll set width to 80%. Now let's look at our own. Then don't forget to set the flex wrap to wrap. So flex wrap to wrap, so that the ones that will exceed will be wrapped to the next one. And as you can see here, it is wrapped to the center. So in this case, we will set the align items to the center as well. So let's do that. Align items center, and then justify content center. So let's do this. Great. So as you can see, we also have it like that. So as we change this one, then it's working fine. But then what happens if the mobile screen size is less than 400 as we set for the distance? So let's do that. I'll come here, I'll copy this one, and then I'll paste it here and change this one to 401. And inside here, what I'll do is that dot right to have a weight of 90% of the screen size. So let's see. So now, as you can see, it works perfectly, right? So what I'll do is that I think I should set it to 426 instead of 401. So 426 there. So 426 right here, and as you can see, as you move, wow, enye 11 11 enye 11 11. Okay guys, so this is where we bring everything to a conclusion. I hope you will learn a thing or two. This is our design version of the Instagram login page, and this is the original version. I hope you learned a couple of things in this tutorial. If you are not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so before you leave, and if you enjoy this content, kindly leave a like on this video. I'll see you once again with another tutorial where we will put our knowledge in HTML, CSS and JavaScript into creating fully functional application. If you don't want to miss out, then subscribe to the channel. I also have the link to my WhatsApp group in the description of this video. Go check it out and join. I'll see you once again with another lesson. Until then, peace out.